Good morning, y'all. Happy Thursday. Hope everybody's doing well. It's truck says 37 degrees. It's real foggy, kind of foggy. Beautiful fall day. Leaves are falling a little bit. Been working on the devices. Got new devices. We're 5G now, and um, it's been keeping us pretty busy. They put so much stuff on these devices these days. Goodness gracious, there's games and there's office stuff and there's bank stuff, and it's just like they don't even let you do your own stuff anymore. I tell you, it's it's crazy what they do. So well, both of us, me and Ms. Mobo, been uninstalling a lot of apps and stuff. Oh, let me put my glasses down there. It looks like somebody's come in here. Oh, there's two people watching. Oh, Sonal. Uh, Thank you. Good to see you. Thanks for the like. Um, Hope you're doing well today. For a little bit. Oh, there we go. It's back. Yeah, I hope like I say, it bounced a little bit. I think it's the weather, and we got some trees, and we're kind of in a little valley. Um, you're doing pretty good. Well, that's good. Yeah, yeah. I got some stuff to do around the farm today. Um, oh, here's Daniel Barry, Sports Head Highlights. Hey, Daniel. Good morning. Thanks for coming in. Good to see you. I was just saying, got some chores to do around the farm. I'm gonna try to anyway. Um, I had you know, some more trees come down. One's down here in the yard, so I need to try to get it, you know, moved around, took care of. Oh my goodness, there's a pileated red-headed woodpecker. We don't have them very much. Oh my goodness, they're big. Look how big he is. Wow. Well, that's it. That's a unexpected pleasure. We don't see those pileated red-headed woodpeckers down around here very often. We have a lot of red-bellied woodpeckers, and oh my goodness, I'm already falling behind on the chat. Uh, Sonal says, "Hey, hello, Daniel." Oh, there's Mona. Hi, Mona. How are you doing, darling? It's so good to see you. Thanks for coming in. I enjoyed your conversation this morning, uh, over Minties. Um, I'd sure like to come down around the place here today. Um, Here's Northern Woman. Morning, darling. Thanks for stopping in. Um, uh, Vegeta Vegeta says hi. It looks like she may be from Israel. Um, Mona says, "Great, it is that week." Hun, I don't think we're going to be able to make it down there. This arm, where they give me that shot, um, it's hurting clear up around my neck. and I've been coughing a little bit this morning. They say them shots kind of they kind of give you some flu symptoms, but it's kind of hurting up here into my neck, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do anything around the place today because it's awful sore. I mean, my shoulder, it's hurting into my shoulder, but it's necessary. Um, my respiratory doctor told me if I was to, catch a respiratory disease, you know, sickness, it could be pretty bad for me. So, Northern Woman's waving, and there's Minty. Minty, thank you so much for coming in. I, I'm just, here's Mona and Minty. Uh, love y'all, and I'm sure appreciate you, you know, um, taking your time to come in here and listen to old fat hillbilly yak. Um, Miss Mobo's still sleeping. I just went in and checked on her. This dang time change we talked a little bit about this morning. I wish they'd leave the blasted clocks around. I'm about ready to pack it up and move down there to Minty's neck of the woods down there in Arizona, where they leave it alone. Leave the dang clock alone. Northern Woman giving the thumbs up, and she's prayers for the pain. Well, it's kind of normal with these shots. At least I didn't have to take another pneumonia shot. I had the pneumonia vaccine last year. This is my 1 year physical. It's been a year, doing really well. Um, but my respiratory doctor said I needed to, I thought it was a pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine. And I guess that's like a 2-shot thing, it's a multiple shot for just the pneumococcal. Well, I took my doctor gave me the Prevnar, um, and apparently that Prevnar is a blanket pneumonia vaccine, and it covers uh, the pneumococcal pneumonia vaccine and other regular pneumonias and stuff. But my respiratory doctor, she, I tell you, I, if it wasn't for these wonderful doctors that the Almighty led me to, my respiratory doctor, she was the one that cleared me to get my eyes fixed. Because I was completely blind. I couldn't hardly see anything, and uh, I wrestled that for a year. Couldn't drive. Couldn't hardly watch TV. It was the cataracts had started to crystallize, and it was a booger. So, what really led all up to it was we went to the truckers Thanksgiving last year. Excuse me. I've been coughing this morning. I think that's another kind of symptom of this shot. Um, and we got lost, and it was dark. Couldn't find a motel, and I couldn't help Miss Mobo. It was really upsetting that I couldn't help her see where we were going. But Minty says you're welcome. Oh, thank you, Minty. You're you're a peach, darling. I love you. I love your chat. You got a bunch of good folks in there, and it's always a good chat. I've been real lucky as far as me doing this little yakking that I do. I've had a lot of of really wonderful people in my chat. Well, there's Sweet Like Honey. One real, one always. I tried to find you, dear, so I could sub to you, and I don't think I when I searched, I don't think I found the real Sweet Like Honey. It didn't look like your picture. I need to get busy here because there's a lot of good folks in here that's been awful kind to me, and I know I seen y'all in in some really good folks um, that have been really great. Um, you know, great influences to you know, get me out here and do this little thing. Uh, I wasn't real sure how it was going to go, um, but it's been a wonderful experience. I had a couple of goofballs, but nothing nothing real bad yet. Lots of folks say, "Well, it's coming." I say we'll cross that road when we get there. Uh, Sweet Like Honey says, "Hey, Mobo, good morning. Good morning, darling. Thanks for coming in and and thanks for your sub from Black Lions channel. A great young man, a beautiful family, um, great encourager. Has been a big help." Minty says, "I appreciate that. Thank you." Well, you're welcome, Minty. I thank you. You're appreciated too. You really are. Um, you're a great example. Um, uh, Sweet Like Honey says we are all one big family. Yes, we talked about that this morning with Minty. Folks. I was kind of hesitant because some folks is live in the morning. I know Black Lion. We was sitting out on his porch till it got chilly, and then we've been in the living room, and um, Sweet Like Honey says, "Hey there, Sonal, Sonal, good morning." Um, Sweet Like Honey says, "Black Lion is the best." Yes, he's a fine he is a fine young man. I really appreciate his uh, his patience and answering questions, little questions that I had, and uh, Sweet Like Honey says, "Oh, thanks, Bobo." Well, this is this is how we connect. There's folks uh, that I've been in their channel that do this, the Blue Jacket and the Big Wrench, to help take care of us. Let me turn this truck off. It's kind of warmed up in here a little bit. It's 37 degrees here this morning in Missouri, uh, western Missouri. Um, Sweet Like Honey says, "Okay, Mobo, got to get ready for work. Peace and love to all." Uh, Sweet Like Honey, thanks for coming in this morning and giving me that like and I look forward to seeing you downstream. 10-4. Sweet Like Honey says 8 likes. Woo woo. Yep, I know. It I the first couple of these things I got kind of overwhelmed. I'm doing a little better. I got kind of a soft heart wear out on my sleeve and uh, Sweet Like Honey says yes, and she says, "OMG, 37, freezing, bundle up. Heck yeah, I got a truck. It's nice and warm in here." Um, uh, Minty says, "Take care, Sweet Like Honey." Uh, and Sweet Like Honey gives us love. Yes, right back at you. Yeah, I know. LOL. Uh, I look forward to seeing you downstream, darling. Um, oh, Mona. Love. Mona says, "Love you very much. I will keep you in my prayers. Gotta go. My vets are waiting for their hugs. God be with you today. You too, Mona. Again, thanks for coming in, darling. I appreciate you taking the time to come in here for a bit. I wished we could make it down there, but I'm doing some medications and nebulizing and with this administration that's in here has kind of put a crimp in our traveling around. You know, with 45, we have $1,000 left in the bank, and I don't even get full Social Security. Well, with this crew, we're lucky if we got $200. And so I tell you what, uh, Tuesday was a great day. We voted early because I had a doctor's appointment, and we uh, uh, we spoke. America spoke. I was I tell you, it, it's it's a new day. We got our country back. He's got his work cut out for him, but I think we got our Senate, and I'm hopeful for the House, but that Senate's a big deal. You know, they there's a gentleman in there that I think there's several in there that needs to be held for responsible for some of the things that they've done these past 4 years. And I think 47 is going to say, "You're fired." I hope so anyway, because man, there's some cleaning house. I just went in and checked on Miss Mobo. Mona says we will see you on the lives. Oh yes, darling. You know, I I think I'm going to be doing a little. I've been doing them every few days. Like I say, we've been kind of busy with the new devices and everything, and so, um, but I will see you on your live too. You always got my thumbs up, darling. All of you, Minty. Um, Sweet Like Honey. All of you. If I ever see you live, you'll always have my thumbs up, and I'll let you know. You'll see. I got my little four emoji thing I do. Thumbs up and big grin and the American flag. Love my flag. Love my country, and a smile. That's what we all need to do is smile, regardless. Um, that that's what we need to do. So yeah. This live thing has been transformative for me. Um, and I don't know uh, if folks seem like they want to listen to me. I get a little tongue tied sometimes, and I kind of ramble. I'm a rambler. Um, Minty says we all need to come together and do what is right. Yes, yes, Minty, we do. It's imperative. It's imperative. Like say, when you go when you go from 1,000 a month, we had more money in the bank than we ever had, even working, because we were commuting to work and we were having to buy a new vehicle every loan term. We were doing the 72-month thing, and by the time that rolled around, we already had close to 200,000 miles on a new vehicle. And so when we retired here to our little piece of the rock here in middle America, Missouri, uh, we were we weren't paying all that fuel, and we weren't buying a new vehicle, um, and so we and even at my lower uh, Social Security, um, we had more money in the bank than we did when we were working until this outfit that's in there now got in, and they say, "Oh, inflation's coming down," and well, I don't know. They must be making an awful lot of money because when we go to the store, when we go to the gas station, and I'd like to buy a new truck. This truck here, it's a 14. It's 10 years old. It's got 130 some odd thousand miles on it, which is not bad for a 10-year-old truck. It's because we're old and we don't go anywhere really, um, but good Lord, you go look at the prices of a new truck. I don't know, and they're pushing these electric cars. Who can afford these vehicles? You'd have to be a young, hardworking family, and I don't know the payments, the truck payments. Gosh dang, they're $1,500, and then some of these folks, they're buying new houses and stuff like that. I don't know. These folks are making a good wage. A lot of them are, but I'm hoping that will change. Here, you know, uh, I sure take care of him. It's the world we live in is it's an evil place these days. A lot of bad stuff going on, but I think we turned the corner. We got our country back. Minty says I haven't seen that one yet. Prices are still climbing. I know, but they say, oh, inflation's coming down. I'm like, well, it's just like it's who puts the numbers out. The that's the whole thing. Is the numbers they're being hyped. They're being fudged. They're fudging the numbers, and uh, you know um, uh, I I just don't think any of these people, and and it showed in the vote. Um, about the only thing that's blue is these Democrat run cities, and I can't understand why even up here in the town up here, um, they jack people's personal property, real estate taxes went through the ceiling, and no, folks, good Lord, their taxes went up, and but the county executive, now this, I never understood this either. His real estate tax increased 7%. His neighbors on either side went up 30%. Now how is it that his property tax didn't go up 30%? Still trying to figure that one out. It's a numbers thing, That's what it is. And thank you, Minty. I seen that. Um, uh, Thank you for taking care of that for me. I appreciate it. Uh, I tell you, we uh, we got our country back. So, uh, like I say, President Trump's going to have his his work cut out for him. What I was going to say, about these numbers, it's the same with the vote, and that's what kind of worried me about this vote. You know, Joe said, uh, it's not who votes, it's who counts the votes. Now, when somebody says something like that, it's pretty worrisome. It really is, but we overwhelmed them, is what happened. And of course, now they're blaming Joe for Kampala losing the election. Kampala lost her own election. What did she have to offer us? Nothing. In 4 years, nothing. And then she wants to take credit for everything that 45 done and left them in 2020. They had it golden in 2020, and then what did they do? Well, they opened up their pockets and they took it away from the American citizen. Uh, yes, yes, Minty. Let's see what they do with it. Yeah, darling. It's like I say, um, but 45. He didn't have to run. He's a millionaire. He's a billionaire. He didn't have to. He didn't have to come out here for the American people in 2016. He took a big chance, and I said it before. When I saw him come down, and I never voted. I'll say that again. I never voted. I didn't feel that the administrations from either party had the citizen in their heart, and so I never voted. I paid my taxes. I worked hard, and all that carries on. But when Donald Trump came down that escalator, I said, "Sir, you better go back to the TV studio, because I don't think these people are going to let you be president. I just don't think so." Well, that woman, she conceded because she had a lot of stuff in her closet and she didn't want anybody looking in her closet. And she still had more. But the man did exactly what he said he was going to do for me, and that was he did away with the uninsured mandate. And, I talked about this a little bit in a previous live. I'll go ahead and talk about it again. I was uninsured. I wasn't working. Um, I had, an injury. I suffered an injury at work, and I was on a lot of medication, and then the doctor, which turned out to be a blessing, kind of saved my life. Anyway, I told Ms. Mobo take me off the insurance. It wasn't doing any good. There wasn't any reason for her to have me on there. Well, um, the uninsured mandate the first year. Well, here's Vilho. Vilho says hi. Minty says they never could cite a policy she was running for. That's right. She, and then she wanted to take credit for everything, that 45 left her. And she was the border czar. Well, Joe made her the border czar. She never went to the border. And look what's happened in 4 years. Now, I'm not anti-immigration. We had a big ceremony all over the world, took the pledge, went through the process, came in the front door. The front door, not the back door. And they worked hard. And this outfit, that just, their whole policy just spit in the face of every one of those wonderful people that came here and wanted to be an American. We live in the, as far as I'm concerned, we live in the greatest nation on earth. Even in its disabled state right now, it's still the best nation on earth. That's why they're trying to break into our country. And there's some other stuff going on too. I think they want to try to take us down from within, and they've let a army into our country. And I don't want to rile anybody up, because there's people that have a lot of issues in their country, and it's bad. But um but you come in the front door, we'll welcome you with open arms. But you know there's a way to do everything. So, and that's really all I'm going to say about that. Here's another fine young man. I see him out there. I always I always say good morning to him. Chris Oldham, thank you for taking the time to come in here to this little channel and listen to this old fat hillbilly rant this morning. I got, looks like a weird kind of flat on it. I did get my eyebrow trimmed down a little bit, but I still got kinked up there a little bit. But Chris, I appreciate you coming in here, sir, and spending a little bit of your morning in here on my little channel. I appreciate it. Uh, I just can't. Minty says hi, Chris. Chris says 100 miles north of the border. Ain't the border? Ain't the border? Is it? Nope, it sure isn't. I'll tell you what. And it looks like folks about had enough of it down there, and I think we got the guy in there that's he's gonna pick up where he left off. Um, I do believe there's a lot of stuff going to change. You know, Joe Joe ran on the four things he said he wouldn't do. You know, the petroleum, the natural gas, and there was a couple other things there. There have been so many of them. He rules with his pen. He didn't care what people said. Well, the first thing he did on after he took his oath of office on the 6th of January, 2020, or 20th of January, I think it was. Maybe, yeah, I think that's when they swore in was the 20th. He got his pen out, and that was the first four things that he done away with: the oil drilling leases, the fracking in for the natural gas. Um, oh goodness, what was the other two? I can't even recall them right off. But and they're all like, oh well, 47. He's going to be all vindictive, and he's going to use it. He's going to use it to settle scores. Hell yes. In 2016, who was that feller that said, if you go against the establishment, you will pay? And they spent 4 years trying to do everything they could to tout his good works. And he still got more done in the world, for the world and the United States, in 4 years through all of that, than any of them ever did. So, I ain't putting up and listening to none of this stuff about how he's going to get even. Well, no, he's saying what the people want him to. He's doing what the people want him to do. So there's that. Minty says they have to let us see what it's like to be another country. We don't care for it. Nope. Nope. It's and so I tell you, it's 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 going to take everything we got. Says, oh, no sweat. You fat hillbillies got to stick together. LOL. Hell dang right, boy. I'm telling you. Yeah, yeah. He would have been you for a noble. He would have been you for a Nobel Prize. Oh my goodness, Chris, you are a hoot, brother. I tell you what, I love you, man. Um, but this you got to kind of be careful. They can fact check anything I say. I always say, I'll I'll piss you off and make you cry, but I will never lie to you. I don't make stuff up. Anything I say, Joe said it. It's not who votes, it's who counts the votes. And you know, free and fair elections, when you take pizza boxes up over the windows and you lock the doors and won't let counting observers in, and you all of a sudden stop the count, say, "Oh, well, we're tired, we can't get it done," and then we got a flood in the building, and it wasn't no flood, it was a stopped up toilet, and then all of a sudden in the middle of the night, huge numbers of votes are injected into the system. And oh, by the way, let's not leave out the totes of votes that came out from underneath covered tables. And looking forward. I'm telling you, it's a new day, for sure. Chris says, "Oh, I love you right back, bro." Yeah, Chris, I tell you, you're fine. You're a fine American. I love your chat, and you got a great sense of humor. You always bring a smile to my face. Minty says, "I don't see any reason to lie on the internet. We have enough of those people." That's right, Minty. Um, Here's Rovin Ronan. Tampex has officially ended its vote for Harris and Tampon Tim and get 20% off campaign. Yeah, well, that guy there, that's another, like say, I'm done talking about them people. I'm not gonna, they lied to us from the start of their campaign. Now they want to blame Joe for her downfall. They never want to take responsibility for anything that they do, and that's not just this crew. There's some past crews that have been that did the same thing. So you know, Chris says IMAO, Rovin Ronan. That was a pretty good one. Chris says, "Good morning there, Rovin Ronan." Rovin Ronan says, "Good morning." Minty says, "Hello, Rovin Ronan." I'm a name butcher. I'm sorry. I apologize. Um, here's Barris Durgan. Hello, Million. Now wait a second. To think about that one for a minute. Uh, Chris Chris says, "I'll never understand how Fox get they lie." Yeah, you know, um, they they I felt like the mainstream started yakking about that yesterday, doing the same thing they done 4 years ago, and I don't think they should be allowed to do that. There should be no talk of projections or this or that before the polls close on the West Coast. It's I think that's interference. I really do. Um, but yeah, this MSM folks, all of them, they need to look at their philosophy, and because uh, you know I don't hardly even watch it anymore. I really don't. Um, Not even some of our shows we used to like to watch. They've been polluted. Um, but there's still a couple of good ones on that we still watch. Um, but yeah, these mainstream media, these news people, they need to get back to that old school reporting, and and get off of this narrative, um, because that ain't right. Chris says hello there, Barris Durgan. Minty says me either, Chris. Yeah, yeah, we don't understand it. How these mainstream, they just every day it's something different. It's kind of like this uh, this campaign that was being run. You know, won't take responsibility for anything they do, but then want to take responsibility for something that somebody that actually loves America and is there for the citizen, and they want to take his ideas and say that they come up with it. Well, they don't. They didn't, and that cost them. It wasn't nothing Joe did. Joe was in the basement. Wasn't nothing he did. He don't even know where he's at. I don't think. But like I say, um, Chris says I watched. Yeah, that fella get away with fixing it to where only a misdemeanor to lie to Congress. That's right. Yeah, they changed the rules. They don't like it. They don't like the rules, so then they make it they change it to fit them. And Chris says, I hope they can fix it back. I'm telling you, Chris, there's folks going to have their hands full. When I was in there checking on Ms. Mobo, she's still, like I say, she's still sleeping. This clock thing, it's kind of hard on old people. Wish they'd leave it alone. I saw across the ticker that RFK says a lot of them people at the FDA need to need to go. I'm telling you, there's a lot of cleaning house. Um, Donald was kind of a rookie the first term. He sees it now. You know he didn't want to see that people could be that way. And I think he's got a pretty good game. And there's another young man, made a lot of money, pretty dang smart, um, and he's gonna do the same thing. And of course, the unemployment's going to go up. Yeah, because a lot of them federal employees that don't do anything but collect a check are going to be looking for a job, because when the federal government is the largest employer in the United States, there's something wrong with that. And when a politician goes in a pauper and comes out a millionaire, there's something wrong with that too. There's something wrong with that, and it needs to change. And I think American people, you know, are done. Yeah, stick a fork in this. We're done, and we're gonna take out the trash. I believe the trash is getting ready to get took out. I hope so anyway. Chris says I call it dumb savings time. Yeah, I tell you, it's a bear. It really is, and I'm still waking up at what would have been the normal time before we fell back an hour. Because there's some stuff that just doesn't understand the numbers on a clock, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Minty says, yes, yes, Chris. I am super interested in how they will fix things. Yeah, Minty. I, you know, be mighty upset come inauguration day because I'm going to tell you, the second he takes his hand off that Bible and picks up that pen, it starts. It starts. So, there they fenced the Capitol and Kapala's house all up, and they boarded all up the downtown area and stuff. Why? I don't know. They're going to leave it that way for 3 months. They're going to leave them fences up until, you know, they preach unity. They campaign unity, and then they do the exact opposite. So yeah, it's a new day. It sure is, and I think there's gonna be a lot of folks that's gonna be upset. Not so much the ones that loves their country, but the ones that that don't. Um, Chris says yes, Miss Minty. I heard Speaker say they got plans day one to go through. Yep, yep. I'm telling you. That's what Joe did. Picked up his pen and commenced to destroying our country. They run it into a ditch, and 47 is going to pull us out of that ditch. And his vice president is if we're around till if I'm around for 28, we're gonna see another hillbilly. Oh, I'm back. This thing bounces in. Chris Minty says, I certainly hope so. Um, Chris says, yeah, Penguin 6 showed it this morning. Was eerily quiet. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's that old boy that runs around up in D.C. and shows us all the stuff that goes on up there. Yeah, I like that feller. I think I'm sub to him. Um, he shows us a lot, and that says a lot. When you see that, yeah, 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 DC, it's a ghost town up there, and they done all that, wasted all that stuff, time and money to put fences up all over everything when the ones they got to protect themselves from is their own, you know. So I don't know. They still got things backwards, and they got several weeks now. I'm afraid we're going to see them do some desperate things here in the coming weeks until we can get 47 in there. I sure hope that he takes his security pretty serious, because there's and it's not just here in the United States, it's all over the world. Uh, there's folks all over the world that's after the United States, and they want to see our demise. There's a lot of folks, a lot of bad actors in the world, and so we don't just have here to worry about. We've got all over the world to worry about. So yeah, it's gonna. All I say is you better tighten them, pull them belts up tight, because we are in for a wild ride. Um, it all we just need to pray for President Trump, the United States of America, and the world. We need to pray for the world. It's imperative, because let me read this. Minty says, I saw that one, Chris. Yeah, I found it to be kind of bizarre, that they're that they're boarding it up for what? Oh, oh, Chris says, I think you're buffering. Well, I blinked out a little bit, but I see to be back. I'm hoping I'm not sitting here talking to myself. Um, Penguin 6 channel. Oh, okay. Chris put up Penguin 6's channel. Thank you, Chris. Um, um, yeah, I quit moving around. It kind of, when I move around, it kind of acts up a little bit. Um, Chris says, yeah, I'm waiting out in shoe. Oh, I'm waiting on the other shoe to fall, but it'll be fine. Yeah, yeah. You know, President Trump has the hand of the Almighty on him. I truly believe. I'm a believer. I'm not a book beater, but I'm a believer, and I believe that uh, he's Almighty's had his hand on me. I always wondered what my purpose was. You know, and I think maybe this is it right here. Um, tell the truth. Let people know it's okay to speak up and speak out. Be a force multiplier. Um, I always say, um, back in 22, we were doing a little bit of patriot stuff. Um, we went out to Colorado for a patriot rally, freedom rally, at the state capitol. And I picked up a half a trash bag full of trash around their state capitol. Why do people? That's their capital. That's something to be proud of. And man, it looked like a garbage dump around the Capitol building. And so I I had trash bags in the truck, and I picked up a half a 55-gallon trash bag of trash. And I got sidetracked on what I was going to say. So yeah, I did. I kind of lost my train of thought here. Um, anyway, I'll go on to the chat. It'll come to me here in a minute, hopefully. Minty says, yes, Chris, or for optics again. Yeah, exactly, Minty. Yeah, they're all about the optics. Yeah, that's what happened in 2020. Donald wanted the National Guard there, and some lady said, "Oh no, we don't want the National Guard here because we don't like how it would look." Well, look what happened, and all them poor angry patriots got sucked into that, and and a lot of them are still paying for it today. Now they shouldn't have broke into our Capitol. I don't care. Uh, that's a shame that happened to them, but they shouldn't have done that. And they should, you do the crime, you do the time. You trespassed into our Capitol building. It upset me terrible bad. And then what happened that evening upset me even worse. And but those people, they shouldn't be languishing in the gulag. You're supposed to be guaranteed a speedy trial. Well, they classified them terrorist or, whatever, insurrectionist. If they'd have been real insurrectionists, that Capitol building would have been set on fire. That's what other groups have done in the past, and we've seen them do it, and they got away with it. They were never held responsible for it. They bust in a bunch of instigators and agitators, and there was a fellow that was standing right there at the front of that gang and whispering in the guy's ear that made the first intrusion through that barrier, if you can call that a barrier, what they had up. Um, and he's still out running around, hiding. I hope they find him and hold him responsible. But I think we just need to move on forward and get on with fixing and saving our country, getting us back on track, because we are derailed right now. Chris says, "Yeah to that, Miss Minty. Yeah, Minty, we're we're watching. Yes, and we're praying that. But I think we got a fella in there that's gonna do his best for us. He did the best for us the first time. That got sidetracked about that uninsured mandate was $93. Well, I paid $93. I was uninsured. I understand. I understand the deal. But then the second year it went up to 800. Well, Miss Mobo got pretty upset, and I told her, I said, "Look, don't pay it. Let me try to find out what we got going on." And but she paid it, and I tell you, it caused a little bump in the road here. Um, well, the third year rolled around, and it went to. Oh, she scared the hell out of me. I'm live. You were sleeping. I went in and checked on you.
Huh?
I went in and checked on you. You were still sleeping.
Yep.
I couldn't have the cord because you was on your machine.
Oh.
I'm speaking to the gang.
Oh, hey everybody.
Ms. Mobo says, "Hey, I'll be in a minute."
Gotcha.
Minty says, "Our state is starting to look like that too. Trash on the interstate. Never seen that one before." I know, Minty. Yeah, yeah. It was. I couldn't believe it. And I'm from Missouri. I'm out there picking up trash around the Colorado State Capitol building. It was kind of depressing to see that, and that's what's happened to Colorado. They ruined Colorado. They run the real estate prices are up. You can't buy land and property in Colorado unless you're a freaking millionaire. Chris says, "I wonder if they release all of the J6ers on 1/6." Well, you know, uh, they've served their time. They didn't. They broke in, but they didn't tear nothing up. There was some stuff happened in there. There's a couple of really good people that lost their lives unnecessarily, and then they wanted to blame, others' uh, lives that were lost on those people. It turns out they didn't even have nothing to do with that. It happened days afterwards, but that's all. I would never dreamed of doing anything like that. I was really shocked at what happened. But anyway, that $1,200 uh, insurance mandate that third year, um, that made Mrs. Mobo cry. And I told her, don't you pay that. You get. And so I researched it, and sure enough, they couldn't collect it. They were snookering the American citizens about that mandate. They could recover it if they could take your income tax return if you had an income tax return, but they couldn't put a lien on your property, and they couldn't freeze your bank accounts or anything for that uninsured mandate. So I told Ms. Mobo, I said, "You go to work on Monday and you get your W-2 uh, updated, because we would get $4,000 back, um, you know, at the end of April." And I said, "You whittle that down to where we maybe owe them $200. We ain't gonna let them keep our money anymore. They aren't spending it, and then this mandate thing is just a slush fund. Well, when President Trump did got inaugurated, one of the first things he did, and that's what he campaigned on, was to get rid of the uninsured mandate because it was just a Democrat slush fund was all it was. That wasn't being helping the citizens. That was helping the politicians. So he had me from right there. I wished I'd have been there for him in 2016. I kind of regret that, but I was there for him in 2020, and because he told me to vote, and he told me what was going to happen. He told me what was going to happen, and it happened just like he said it was. And we've suffered the past 4 years, but not now. It's a new day. We're moving forward, and we're going to take our country back to the pinnacle. Because, and I know what it was I was going to say about the Capitol. Oh, let me read the chat here a little bit. Minty says, yes, Mobo, that whole thing was crazy. Yeah, Minty, Donald wanted, I hate calling him Donald. President Trump wanted the National Guard there. And he wanted the Capitol building safe because there were 4 states that petitioned letters to, oh, Chris says, howdy, Miss Mobo. She's gone back in the house. I'll tell her you said, hey, Chris, I'll sure do it. Oh, here's Tori. Good morning, Tori. I hope the trip yesterday was okay. It was, my arm is so sore from that shot, from that flu shot, in which is normal. It's a normal part of it. It's hurting clear up into my neck this morning, and that's just part of it. I'm fine, but that's just part of that shot. But I was thinking about you, and I watched a little bit. I rode a little bit with you. It got kind of late. We've been, getting these devices. They put so many apps. It's crazy on these new devices. It takes forever to get it cleaned up where you need it to be and get your settings all back and everything. Chris Oldham says, good morning there, Tori. Tori says, good morning, Chris. But when we were out there at that freedom rally, here's a new person. Quentin. Quentin says, album Solenti. Well, I don't understand that there, Quentin. Oh, that's something in Harry Potter. Oh, Quentin's showing a surprise face. Oh, what have I come into here? Who is this feller with all that beard and so anyway, okay. So we were at the Colorado State Capitol. This was in 22, before the midterm elections, and trying to help the wonderful patriots in Colorado, wonderful people, and we love Colorado. My dad was a mule deer hunter, and I lost him as a young child, and longed to go to Colorado and hunt, and it took many years, but there was a whole process, when it come time for me to go, and anyway, love Colorado and the wonderful people. We done lots of rafting, love the mountains. I can't really go out there now because of the altitude, and with this COPD, it just, I could end up with a pulmonary embolism or something. And I know I shouldn't worry about that because I could end up with one of those here too. It's the Almighty's the one that's got that deal. So anyway, I was out there picking up trash. We we had our flags on our vehicles, and love my flag. Love to fly flags. Haven't done it for quite some time. Out, we done it over here local. We've got an overpass that's a no access. There's no entrance or exit ramps. It's an overpass over the interstate, the big road. We're just about 20 miles from the big road over here. And so this young feller walked up. He said, in his Australian accent, "Well, what's going on here, mate?" And I said, "Well, we're having a little uh, freedom rally. We got an election coming up here pretty soon, and we're out here just showing the love of our country, and uh, that we've got some fine young uh, family people, and young mothers, soccer moms, and and lady truck drivers. We had an old feller. I always wonder about him. Um, I haven't spoke with him for quite a while. I should probably try to call him. 82-year-old truck driver, still driving. I'm not sure if he's still on the road. His truck had 5 million miles on it. A wonderful, wonderful gentleman. Um, um, and he said, "Well, uh, what freedoms have you lost?" He said, "What kind of freedoms are you rallying for?" I said, "Well, number one is our freedom of choice. And in 22, what was going on in 22. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because they got the tube got an issue with some of these words, and they're kind of a trigger. And I don't want to get in trouble. This has been a great experience for me, and I want to keep going. I'm hoping that maybe this is my destiny. This is what the Almighty has planned for me, to do this, to say things that people want to say themselves, and maybe it'll give them the strength and the encouragement. I encourage people the way I've been encouraged to do this, because this is our tube, even though they act like it ain't. If we was all to quit doing the tube, where would the tube be? Anyway, Chris says, "Howdy there, Quentin." Did I already say that? Tori says, "Yeah, Dad is resting in the back of the car. We are headed home now." Oh, well, I'm glad you're headed home. I hope the first round went good. You and your dad and your whole family are in our prayers. I believe that the power of prayer is real. It's real, and I'm living proof of it, because there's a lot of people that prayed for me, and the Almighty, He has His hand on me. I'm going to cough. I don't know if this shot, they say it gives you the flu, or can give you the symptoms of flu. And I don't know if it's just the COPD. I'm not sure. Chris says, IKR. I know, right? Yeah. I think that's what that means. You guys got to keep the old fat hillbilly on the ball here. I found out the other day there was another one of them letter things that meant just in case, or because or something. Anyway, Chris says, "Oh, prayers lifted right up for y'all, right up for y'all there, Tori." Yeah, Tori, you're in all of our hearts and on our minds. We We love you, darling. Chris says, yep. So anyway, this young Australian fella said, well, he said, what's your name? I said, well, they call me Mobo. He says, well, Mobo, we're, I, he says, me and my wife are here in the United States for cancer treatment. It's not available for us in Australia. And he says, I want you all to keep up what you're doing because, and he said, this is in Australia, and this is how Australia feels because we've suffered some governmental stuff too over there. And if anybody's paying attention, they know what's happened over in Australia. And it has a lot to do with Second Amendment. And that's where it started. And he says, as the United States goes, so goes the world. He said, so y'all keep up what you're doing because the world is watching. So there you go. I tried to get him to come around and speak, with us. It would have been nice, but I understood. And I think he had some place to go. But for him to say that, and that holds true today, as the United States goes, so goes the world. And you see what's happened in the last 4 years, and that's a direct result of the current administration. And so if they know what's good for them, for America, they won't be doing anything foolish in these last few weeks, doing anything last gasp, you haven't done us any good in the past 4 years. We are worse off. Just look at what we've been talking about: the store, the gas station, our insurance, a new car, housing. It's in the ditch. You can say, oh, the numbers, say inflation is lightening up, well, maybe at your house when you got millions and millions of dollars in your bank account, but down here in the normal American citizen that works hard and pays taxes, that pays your salary, would beg to differ with you, and I believe we did. 2 days ago, we sent you a message. Stop what you're doing. We want this fella back in here to fix our country back to where we were when you all took over. Because you have no accomplishments to tout. This will go down as the worst administration in the United States ever, as far as this fat hillbilly says. Because y'all have run our country into a ditch. Now we got this Norfolk Southern Railroad, responsible for a big thing up in Ohio. If you can remember that far back, which has just been a couple of months, and what happened up there. Well, now they've told their employees, you only spend a minute inspecting each rail car. Now, what's that? What are they? Are their memories that short as to what occurred on an uninspected rail car? I tell you, these, I think that maybe Mayor Pete might be on his way out too, because um, nobody's being held responsible for anything because they're being paid so much money to turn their head and not look. And it's an American citizen that's suffering for it, you know? So, well, hour and 17 minutes. There's still 3 people in here, and I got 10 likes. I hope my stream has been a little steadier. I know it bounced a couple of times, but uh, Sonal says, hello, Tori. Sonal says, hello, Chris. Chris says, howdy there, Sonal. I tell you, what a great chat again today. Um, if I was to hang in here a little longer, probably get some more folks. I think I found some in my studio. Kind of showed that some folks run across me on the scroll. I think we seen a couple of them there a little earlier. Quentin, I hope you come back. I hope you gave me a like on your. I hadn't seen you. You probably scrolled on by. I don't. I'm not sure if he actually bought into what the old fat hillbilly was saying. Minty, what a wonderful. Oh, Sonal says thank you for the blue jacket and the big wrench. Well, Sonal, I see you. I see you out there, and I know other people, have done that for me, and it's I think it's important because it's helped my channel grow. Other people, and I'll shout them out. I am just eternally grateful and for their support and their encouragement. Um, the first one was Optimob, Timo, and Sabine, and their wonderful dog Bax. We love Bax. He's a great pup, and he loves Timo and Sabine, and they love him too. If I was a dog, you know, I would want them to be my human, uh, my humans. And Optimob does this. Um, Now he had a little issue um, with some folks that he gave that blue jacket and that big wrench to, but I think they've solved some of that. There's that element, they take something that's good and try to make something bad out of it, and that's kind of inherent. That's what humans do. Um, another fine gentleman. Timo and Sabine, they live in Switzerland, and my channel really started to grow when they done that for me. Um, uh, Chris says, yeah, Saw. Uh, so far, so good. Uh, I think maybe I'm missing something. So okay. Oh, okay. I got you, Chris. Uh, Chris says, yeah, I subbed and dinged, and Tori and Sonal. Um, Sonal says, thanks, Chris. Needed that after I lost 3 subs. Yeah. YouTube kind of they like to kind of play. I call it YouTube basketball. they like to bounce our numbers around like that, and it and some folks say it has to do with when you sub somebody to 24 hours afterwards to watch their videos and leave a comment. Watch one of their videos, leave a comment, and uh, to make the sub stick. There's some kind of, it's that algorithm thing. It's way over the old fat hillbilly's head. Um, I just do this for fun. A lot of folks are monetized now. Um, so the second feller is Dave Stuff. Dave's from North Carolina, and I just run across him like you know everybody else on the scroll with this vertical format. Um, that's what the deal. It's pretty incredible to just scroll, and if you see somebody, it's like who is that? What's he talking about? You know, maybe I'll stop here and listen to him for a minute or two. Anyway, I run across Dave. Dave, he's pretty sour on the government. He doesn't vote. I understand. I understand totally. I voted for him. Um, I voted for America. That's who Dave's for. He's for he's for helping the 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 tubers, the streamers. Uh, he just wants to see content. We hang out on the porch. Dave's mission is to make the front porch great again, and he's certainly done that. Um, he's a great guy. Has done in some pretty cool stuff over his life, and he's got more to do. I believe he's having some family stuff. His dad's older gentleman, 90 years old, and got he's a veteran, but Dave never really had you know a good relationship. But Dave's been out. Dave's he's been around the world. He's a engine builder, and he did engines in offshore racing boats and NHRA motorcycle drag bikes, um, and he done a lot of he likes motorized bicycles. That's an emergency room visit for Mobo. Uh, but he's an awesome guy, and he does this for his people. He gives them a blue jacket and a big wrench, and he don't put up with no goofy stuff on his. And we know how Dave feels about stuff, and and we help him keep it clean. We sure do. So let's see here. I'm falling back behind on the on the chat again. Uh, okay, yeah. Sonal says thanks, Chris. Needed that after the three subs. Like I say, mine was bouncing back and forth, and I had this number in my head. If I got to 100, I would go live. Well, man, it bounced up to 98, and then it bounced back down to 94, and I was just watching traffic go by, see who's driving up and down the road. I know most everybody by their car. I don't know a whole lot of them personally, but they see me. I'm retired, been retired for many years. But anyway, yeah, our numbers bounce back and forth. Well, we had a big tree. The wind's been blowing fierce around here the past few days with all these fronts moving through, and the season's really changing. And a big tree crashed up in the woods, and it was so loud it brought Miss Mobo out. So I thought, well, I'll go up there and check it out. So when I got up there, I was like, well, maybe I'll just hit the button. And so I did. And the rest is history. Here I am. I think this is number 5. Chris says, right on, Sonal. Sonal says, subbed you back, Chris. See, this is what it's all about. We talked about this on Minty at Minty's house this morning. Oh, Minty says, I'm back. Had a phone call. Uh, Chris says, welcome back, Miss Minty. Yes. Miss Minty says, thanks, Chris. Sonal says, also, when I go live, they are playing with my numbers too. Yeah, Sonal, don't do it for yourself. The numbers will come if that's your objective. I know that's a lot of streamers' objective is to become monetized. Um, and that's awesome that this opportunity is laid out there for people that uh, really have aspirations. Um, Me, not so much. I kind of do it for fun. I found out that this was really, it's awesome. Here I got 11 likes. You know, one of them I had 20. I was like a 2.5 hours, and I just kept yakking and carrying on, and people kept coming in, and man, I had I've had people say, "Dang, you just this is like your third live and you got 20 likes." That's They say, "Man, if I go in there and I have 5 likes, I think I've done good." And I'm like, "Wow, you know, I, I'm blown away by the acceptance." It's just, for an old fat hillbilly sitting in his truck, and the reason being we live in a steel building, and the reception, you can't. There's no reception in the house. Uh, we don't have any windows. We live in a grain bin. Maybe I'll show you that one of these days. You've seen it. You've seen the house. I had somebody say, "I thought you said we were going back down to the house. Where's your house?" Well, they saw it. Go back there. I think it's in one of my videos, a walkabout. I did a Dave wanted Dave likes to see people go in their neighborhoods, where they live, and people all over the world, uh, you know, Africa, Kenya, uh, Italy, Germany, um, just all over the United States, and we ride with the gig ladies that are doing the dashing, um, feeding America. Um, so um, shout out to Dave Stuff. He's a great guy. He doesn't want subs. He doesn't ask for that. He just asks. He just wants to see good content. See what people do. See their animals, their dogs, and their cats, and what they do for fun. Their mountains, and they go on their trips, and just whatever. India, we have people from India that take us. It's This is an incredible. This YouTube thing is social media. If you can get past all the, you know you got to have kind of a thick skin now, because you're going to have some folks come in there and be kind of ornery. You got to really have a thick skin. And there's another really good fella that was really encouraged me a lot. I never really, me and Miss Mobo done some little cooking videos, and like I say, I went out and walked around there up in the garden. That's one of our favorite places to be, is in the garden. We grow a lot of food. Uh, Miss Mobo makes a killer hot pickle. Oh my goodness. They make your tongue slap your brains out. They're that good. And and there's some really good cooks out here. Minty, you're a great cook. Love your stuff. Them crispy apples and them granola bars the other day. I think that's me and Miss Mobo talked about those. That them look pretty good. I think we're gonna try that. Now I'm not sure about the apples. Apples kind of got a lot of fiber in there for me, but I like granola bars. I like apples. I just got to be careful because like say too much too much fiber in there. But Minty makes some good. I think she's doing some chicken. I think it might be a members only. Um, I wish we could afford to member up on a lot of channels because there are so many of you good people out there, and you deserve everything you get because you work really hard on your channels, and it shows. It shows. So another feller I was gonna talk about um, was Backyard Fun Country Boy. Um, Great guy. He's a lot of fun. He's ornery. He's ornery as hell, and I love Country Boy. Minty, the chat's starting to move here a little bit. Let me read it here. Um, Sonal says, hello, Miss Minty. Minty says, hello, Sonal. I hope I'm saying that right, Sonal. Sonal. I don't want to butcher your name. Um, Minty says, thanks, Mobo. Appreciate it. Well, Minty, like I say, you're always cooking something good. Um, Dang. I'm like, I'll take 2 of those to go. Chris says, does Dave stuff got dark rim, square looking glasses and wears a cap? That's Dave. That's Dave, yeah. Yeah, Dave, he has some, he's wrestling some family issues, and it, he always says, well, I hate to come in here and complain all the time. Well, he needs to vent. We all need that, to be able to vent, that we got people that we can, even though we're not sitting there looking at them face to face, know that they have us in their heart, and as we genuinely do them, because this is a community. This whole thing, even though we go live and we know somebody else is probably live, and they've got their crew, and we maybe got our crew. Well, the thing is, maybe the crews overlap, and it makes all of us grow together. That's the important thing. Chris says square looking glasses. Yeah, that's Dave. Minty says yes, Chris, it does. Um, oh, I think I missed something here. Oh, Minty says yes, it will be members only, but I have been releasing them about a few days later. Oh, that's awesome. That's great to know, Minty. I see I see your stuff. I see you doing scalloped potatoes. They're just popped up. So I get your notifications, and that's cool. I'll remember that. I don't know if a lot of folks do that. I see that the label stays on their vids as members only. Um, but you always have my sub and my thumbs up, even though you might not see me. Now I've gotten gifted uh, some memberships, um, and that's that's cool that people go out and do that, and for us that aren't members, that, and like I say, I would love to, because there's so many good folks that deserve um, that their membership to grow, and I encourage it. I surely do, because it's folks really works hard on their channels, and it shows. It shows. Um, so yeah, I know. Every time I see one of your videos come through, Minty, I try to watch as many of them as possible. We keep us pretty busy down here on the farm, and now the past few days we've got doctor's appointments, and then these new devices have really been keeping us busy. But we about got a handle on it. Minty says it's okay, Mobo. I just appreciate the support and the likes and the comments. Well, thanks, Minty. I always try to tell folks it's not that I don't want to be a member, and maybe now we get back to normal, and you know, we can start, doing some of that stuff again. I look forward to it because I've that's my whole deal. I've been supported in my little venture. Oh, I'm looking at traffic again. Nosy. I'm nosy. Um, Sonal says yes, it's correct. It's correct. But I don't mind people pronounce. Oh, yes, it's correct. Um, I don't mind, but I don't mind people pronounce my name differently. Uh, well, thanks. It's good to know that I'm not butchering your name. I want to. It's important that folks hears their name, and that's why I try to read the chat. But I was talking about. Oh, Chris has put Country Boys link up here. Now, Country Boy's ornery. Um, he don't knock the trolls off. He engages them, and it it's some of them folks are kind of nasty, but Country Boy don't put up with it. And he's a hunter and a fisherman and a cook, a good cook too. Um, he's got a barrel, man. That feller he makes some steaks and burgers, and he cooks in cast iron. And uh, man, he just put out one biscuit and gravy, a good biscuit and gravy uh, vid, and he's live quite a bit. But he's he's a great fella, and he was a great influence um, for me. He's one of the ones that said, Mobo, you need to go live. He said, there's people out there that probably gonna might want to hear what you got to say. You don't worry about other people's lives. He said we all do it, and that's what it's all about. Uh, we all benefit from it, and so he was a big influence. Um, oh, Chris, thank you, Chris, for putting these fellers uh, handles up out there, their channels. Um, they're great people, a lot of fun. Country Boy, I love him. I love him dearly. Uh, he likes to get in the beam a little bit. He gets beamed. That one eye kind of drop a little bit. he, but it's his channel, and he'll tell you flat out. People say, "Oh, well, maybe you shouldn't drink so much, Country Boy." And Country Boy says, "Look, this is my channel, and there's three things I'm going to do. I'm going to smoke, I'm going to drink, and I'm going to eat." And he does all three of them very well. I commend him. Uh, and he's a great videographer. He puts out some funny stuff, I tell you. He's a great guy. I love him to death. Um, uh, Minty says, I just put that one out. Yep, LOL. I got the notification. I seen it come across. I'll have to give her a look because I love them taters. And me and Miss Mobo, we eat pretty good too, and a lot of it's YouTube food. We get a lot of good recipes. There's a lot of good cooks out here. We all eat pretty. We all help each other eat pretty good. Let me tell you. Minty says I love good biscuit and gravy. Yeah, yeah. Miss Mobo's been doing a breakfast casserole. Now the original recipe came from a lovely a lovely young lady from Oklahoma, Okie Gigi, and you know who she is, Minty. I see she's in your chat, and we love Okie, and we went. That was one of the last. flag waves that we went to. We went to Texas and had a meet up, and I've got a video, a short of that wave in Sherman, Texas, um, and it hasn't really gone a lot of views, uh, folks. It's like I say, it's an acquired taste, I guess. But Oki brought the ingredients for a breakfast casserole, and oh my goodness, you put it all in one pan, you top it with biscuits, you put the gravy and the eggs, and it was incredible, um, and it fed us all. I mean, it was good, and so there's a video out there that kind of modified that with scrambled eggs, um, but um, Oki was the um, how do I want to say, she was the cooker. She was the influencer on the breakfast casserole, and it lasts you for, we eat on it for a couple of days. Breakfast, for a couple of days afterwards. It's not just a 1 day thing. And I tell you, I'm with you. I love a good biscuit and gravy. It sticks to your ribs, and it's great on a, oh, I don't have the truck on a good chilly fall morning. Yeah, yeah, it's wonderful. Chris says, "Oh, I'll be checking him out." Yeah, he's a great guy, Chris. Uh, I really like Country Boy. He's a pretty good feller. He's just a down home American guy that loves life and has been around a corner or two, and he wants to help folks too on their channels. Sonal says, Miss Minty, by the way, see, I'm doing pretty good. BTW, I sub to your channel. Minty says, thank you, Sonal. I sub to you also. Chris Oldham says, right on there, Mobo. It's kind of an auto mechanism at this point. Yeah, it sure is. I appreciate your patience, Chris. I sure do. Uh, Someone says, thanks, Miss Minty, and you're welcome. Uh, this is the most important thing for me. This community, and it's wonderful to be part of the growth of it. And that's why uh, I want to return the favor. Now I'm going to shout out another young man, wonderful family man. Uh, he has some anxiety issues. He's got a support pup, um, a wonderful wife, and a beautiful daughter. He loves him. He loves him dearly, and he's a great YouTuber. He's very smart, but he knows a lot. He's answered a lot of questions for me, and he's been very patient. Um, and I met him through um, Country Boy, um, and his channel is Black Lion, and the Lion's Den. He's live a couple times a day, and he's a great cook too. He turned out some ribs the other day. I was like, oh man, I wish I was up there eating on that. That looks really good. Um, uh, Chris says, yeah, YouTube has made me a better cook for show. Yeah, for show. It sure has, Chris. Uh, we eat mighty good here in Missouri. We sure do. Um, Chris says, love Miss Okie. Oh, Chris, um, you know, we met some wonderful people down there I think of them every day. And if you watch that waving flags for freedom short, you'll see them. Um, the venue that we stayed at was incredible. And Jay Jones, um, you may have heard Jay Jones' name. Um, yes, Chris. Uh, it's his channel is Black Lion, and uh, he's he's a great American, great family man. You know, if we had, we need a whole bunch more of these great family channels, um, that have these guys that have great families. They're great dads. They love their children. He's an incredible person, and we really love Black Lion. Um, all these guys they're wonderful. But yes, Miss Okie, we we love Miss Okie. She's a wonderful person. Now there's somebody, I don't know if y'all have heard. You probably have, a lot of us. Um, Silly for him. Um, she's a wonderful lady. Um, she's got a lot of medical issues as a result of her exposure to um, 9/11, um, the 9/11 disaster, the 9/11 terrorist attack. A lot of her family are first responders, and um, she she was down there helping feed them, and she was exposed to all of the toxic dust and smoke, and it damaged her respiratory system, and she's battling stuff right now. Yeah, Black Lion. I don't know if he's so much a gamer. I don't know. Uh, he's a video. I know he's a video guy, but um, uh, I don't know. I don't know what he's gaming. He's just a streamer. Um, Sometimes he's out on his front porch. Now here lately in the morning, it's been kind of cold. He's from Iowa, lives in Iowa. It's been pretty cold up there. This cold air we got, they got it a little more up there. So, um, Chris, I don't know if he's a gamer or not. It's like you had capital BLACK Lion, capital LION. Um, um, you might keep looking for him. I don't know if he does much gaming, but he's got a lot of videos out there. Minty says I haven't seen Silly in a while now. Silly, Minty, Silly's in the hospital in the cardiac ward, and she's lost her voice. Um, we need to keep her in our prayers. Yes, that's her channel right there, Chris. Thank you. Um, we need to keep Silly in our prayers always. Um, and so that's probably why you probably haven't seen her, because she needs our prayers. She certainly does. Um, and we love Silly. I had the pleasure of meeting her at the Convoy of Honor in Branson with Mona. The first year. I have, like say, I couldn't go last year because I couldn't see. I was blind, you know, and and so And I'd love to go down there this year because I can see I'm driving. My eyes are, I have to have readers. That's why you see me with my little readers on because I can't really see the chat this close up. But I wore glasses since I was a little kid, and to not wake up in the morning and be able to look up and see the clock, it's 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 been overwhelming. There were many months several months after the surgery, which was in um, I believe it was April, the end of April. There were several months there I couldn't hardly talk about it because I would get overwhelmed. It was the most incredible. It was life changing, and my doctors were responsible, the ones that are helping me maintain this my COPD. Um, that's what Sylvia is. And it's a progressive thing, and there's really all you can really do is maintain it and keep moving forward. Chris says this black line is a younger fella uh, about comic books. No, that's a different. There's he's a different black line. Um, I wish I had the tablet fired up. I'd probably be able to look for him. Um, Minty says prayers for her. Darn it, yeah, Minty. Um, you know, it all comes to us. We all think things happen to us. You know, young and old. Um, Sylvia is well. I just can't hardly put it into words. She's just a lovely human being, and we just keep her in our prayers. Yes. Um, Chris says I'm finding the black lion, but not the black lion. Um, well, his his emblem, his is a half his face and half a black lion. Um, uh, but it's I believe it's just black lion. Let me see if I can't get him in here on the. Maybe I can get it here on the tablet real quick. Here we are approaching 2 hours. It's about time for me to do my breathing treatment. Let me see if I can bring this up here real quick. It should just take a second. Let's see here. Let's see. He might be live. No, I don't see him live. Let's go here and I'll go to my subscriptions. Um, Chris says yes. Yeah, prayers lift her right up for him. Yeah, yeah, Chris. She it you know the Almighty he uh, he works in mysterious ways for us humans. We don't question. Um, well, we do question, but because that's what humans do. Um, let's see here. Let me. It's working. It's working. Um, and it's all one word, Chris. It's black, capital BLACK, lion, capital LION, all one word. And it's got a little purple squiggly thing after it. Um, let's see if I can bring his channel up. It's black, Black Lion 35, and it's capital B LACK, small lowercase LION, all one word, 35, all no spacing, all one thing. Chris says, yeah, I didn't find it. Sonal says, be right back. Um, yeah, but that's what I'm showing at Black Lion at Black Lion 35. But he's a great guy, a great family man. Loves his. Okay, Chris says hi. He said I found him. Yeah, yeah. He's a great videographer too. He puts together some good shorts, and he's a pretty funny guy. But and he he don't fool around with them instigators and agitators either. He will engage, and he's told me if I ever have any trouble with anybody, just to let him know, and he will help me with that. Um, he's a great guy. Yep, there it is. Yeah. Well, it's showing a lowercase b, but uh, oh, okay, okay, I see it. I see it now. Yeah, and it's got that little emblem, little purple in a purple square. I'm not real sure what that is, but Chris says subbed and dinged. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for that. You're a great guy, man. Yeah, I typed in Black Line 35. Yeah, um, all one word and 35. And he's also got several other links too. Um, but that's what I have him as Black Line 35 on his page. But a great guy, been a great help, a great encouraged me to and said anytime I needed, if I had any questions to that he would do his best to help me, and he's already helped me more than he'll ever know. Him and Country Boy are pretty close, and uh, they they do do a lot of videographing together, and but they're a couple of ornery guys, man. I tell you, you want them on your side. Um, they're one of those guys uh, that don't mess around. Minty says, I got to get going, Mobo. I've got a house to take care of. LOL. I know, darling. I know, and I got a breathing treatment to do. Hun, I appreciate you coming in to this little channel. It means so much to me that you would take time out of your morning to come here and be with us. You and Chris, and I just Chris says, have a great day there, Miss Minty. Minty says, thanks, Chris. You too. Um, Minty, hugs, and how do they do that? Love, hugs. There it is. There it is. Hugs and love, darling. Love you. Love you. We'll see you downstream. 10-4. Minty says, you are most welcome, Mobo. Appreciate you. Uh, yeah, Minty. Hmm. I've been coming into your house and on your patio for quite a while. It's always a pleasure. Uh, Chris, Chris says it's been my pleasure. Chris, again, thanks for your help in dropping those links. Um, these are really great people, and we're all in it together. So on those kind words, I'm gonna I'm going to end this for this morning here at 2 hours and 1 minute. And like I said, I do them every couple of days. Um, I don't know if I want to do one doing some chores down here, but I'm so sore from this. So it'd probably be a couple of days. I got a short or two I want to try to put together. Maybe I'll post a video, cooking video or something. Chris says, everybody have a great day. A great rest of your day. Chris, right back at you, brother. See you downstream. Peace, peace, and 10-4.